Up next is Father Edward Danello.
Christos Voskras. This is Father Edward Danello Ivanko once again with another installment of Znamy Boh. And we have a beautiful gospel passage from the Gospel of St. John, the Sunday of the paralytic. This man, this poor man, who for 38 years has been paralyzed, and from what the Gospel tells us, he's been waiting beside this pool in Bethsaida. What happens, according to this Gospel, is that an angel comes down and stirs the waters of the pool, and the first one in is cured. And of course this man is paralyzed, so it's impossible for him to get there first, and so he just sits there waiting for that moment when he might be the first one in. Angel stirring water. When I read that, I couldn't help thinking the Holy Spirit, of course. The Holy Spirit always comes in the form of either a tongue of fire or a dove or wind blowing. So this has got to be another manifestation, it seems to me, of the Holy Spirit. Jesus happens on this man, cures him, tells him to pick up his mat and walk. However, danger, 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 because it's the Sabbath, and this is quickly picked up by those who are ready and willing and wanting to pounce on anything that Jesus does that doesn't seem to fit with how things were always done. They're always around, it seems, and they're building this case against him. So the man tells the authorities what has happened, and doesn't even know who did this, because Jesus was able to escape very quickly. These authorities, they don't seem to see the miracle of this curing. They only seem to see that some minor Judaic law has been infringed, the law of not working on the Sabbath. This is small t tradition. There are traditions with a large T that, we have in our creed, say. But small t traditions, I don't mean that they're meant to be discarded or broken, but sometimes we don't have to be as slavish about keeping them as we have to about the centers, the pillars of our faith. We still have people like this. We still have people who are like this group of, sometimes they're called Pharisees, sometimes they're called scribes, sometimes they're scribes and Pharisees. And if any of my parishioners are listening, they'll probably laugh at my saying this, because I've said this many times from the pulpit. We have those people, it's that human nature of being unwilling and just against any change. Again, it's human nature. We have to recognize it as that. We can't, be too hard on ourselves, but we've got to recognize that we have a tendency to do this, and it's our duty to try to lessen that in our reactions to certain things. And if those scribes and Pharisees had only lessened their reaction to this man being cured, 38 years he was lying there paralyzed, and he's now walking, carrying his mat. They don't see that. They just see the letter of the law has been broken for some reason. So this is a wonderful message of the Sunday of the paralytic. Change. Keep changing. Keep thinking that change is necessary. Only with change does growth occur. And that's our job here on earth, to keep growing, to keep fulfilling God's purpose for us. This is Father Edward Danello Ivanko saying, Christos Voskras, and enjoy this last hours of the Sunday of the paralytic.
God is with us, understand all you nations, understand all you nations, understand all you nations.
Ви слухаєте українську радіопрограму «Наш Холос» на багатомовній радіостанції AM 1320 CHMB 97.5 Cable FM. And our blast from the past tonight was by Pavlo Homeniuk from his CD King of the Ukrainian Fiddlers, New York, 1925 to 1927, the early years. And that CD is on the Arhuli label. Up next, something a little more contemporary. The Kyiv Chamber Choir is up next, and they're here in Canada still. We saw them last Tuesday here in Vancouver and Victoria. They're just winding up their 2009 Canada tour, and they'll be in Winnipeg and Kitchener-Waterloo yet before they head back home to Ukraine tomorrow. Winnipeg at the Westminster United Church, and in Kitchener-Waterloo at First United Church in Waterloo. And if you haven't got your tickets yet, and you're in one of those two cities, go grab them. This is a fabulous concert you will not want to miss. You can call toll-free 1-877-266-2557 to order, or visit ticketweb.ca online. Here they are now from their CD Sounds of Kyiv, with one of the numbers that we heard on Tuesday night here in Vancouver, and possibly in Victoria as well. I was just at the Vancouver concert, and so they'll be up next with The Hazel is Rustling, arranged by Miroslav Skorek.